Here, we're live. We had a couple technical difficulties because that's how live streaming works. But I am super excited. Today we're talking about bills, bills, bills. We even have a 1999 song for you with that very title. I know, it's exciting. So Frank Sanchez, customer account specialist at Chelan County PUD, is here to answer all of your questions about high bills, low bills. Does anyone really call about those? And all of our rates and things like that. Welcome to season 2 of the Power Hour. Hey, Frank. Can you hear me
Hi.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey. It's been a struggle, but I
It
see
has
you and I
been.
hear you. So, how is everything going?
It's going great. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Can you tell me just a little bit about what you do at the PUD?
I yes, of course. I am a customer account specialist. Uh, I've been here for almost four years. Uh, it's been it's a lot to learn. But the main thing I do is take care of the customers to make sure everyone's happy and doing it in a nice and pleasant way, I guess. So that's what I do.
All right, cool. And how is the happiness in the customer department these days?
Uh, well, it's this time of the year when we get calls. Obviously, we get a mix of everything, right? But uh, at the end of the call, we want to make sure every customer is happy with what information we gave them and what we are doing. So that's the ultimate goal. And so you can you can obviously hear smiles on the phone. So we want that. We want to get that across. To have a pleasant customer experience. That's the goal, and to answer the questions. Also, obviously, as the main priority, answer those questions and make sure they're happy. So that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, for sure. I know it's hard when December, January bills start coming in because we're a heat dominant place. And so with electric heating, that's when the bills start to go up, which we have some customer questions that people have sent in before. If you are listening and you have a question for Frank about bills or rates or any of that, drop them into the chat. We can see them on YouTube and Facebook, and he's happy to answer those for you. Before we start though, I'm going to be a big jerk and I'm just going to steal the mic from you, Frank. I was looking at customer questions that had come in, and a lot of them were related to sort of like our rate structure and what are our rates and why is my bill high? And I just wanted to do a very quick primer because I get really excited about data and just share where Chelan County PUD's bills kind of fall in line with other bills. Is that cool with you?
Of course.
Okay, I even have a presentation, like a
All
little
right.
presentation with graphs and stuff, which please don't turn off. I promise you it'll be an exciting presentation, okay? All right. Let me share my screen.
You got some popcorn too.
I know, I know. You could just chill out for this one, dude. Like
All right.
unless you want to, you know, unless you want to like give your 2 cents. But I will see you in just a few to answer customer questions, and we're going to chat rates and bills right now.
Okay.
Okay, this is infinite thing. Let me switch over here. You can see my whole screen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is my first time presenting. Da da da. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, so I wanted to just take a minute and bust some myths about our rate structure because I've been reading y'all's comments and I think we just wanted to deep dive a little bit into how this works. Okay, so the amount on your bill is a function of two things: our rates, which, in case you were wondering, we pay $3 cents 3.2 cents a kilowatt hour, and we multiply that by how much energy you use. So if you use a lot more electricity times 3.2 cents, you're going to pay more. If you use a very small amount of electricity times 3.2 cents, it's going to be very small. Okay, let's start here. Let's talk about rates. You might be wondering, how much does electricity cost? Well, it depends where you live, okay? The average in the US is about 13 cents. The Washington state average is about 10 cents. And here in Chelan County, like I mentioned, we pay 3.2 cents, which is amazing. And this is how it compares. We have some friends up in up in Hawaii that pay actually over 30 cents a kilowatt hour. And we are way down there. We have the second lowest rates of any US utility. And if you're wondering who is the lowest rate, it's where I live in Douglas County. Okay. But we still love you. And they're really close. Okay. So your rates at 3.2 cents are the second cheapest rates in the entire United States. Pretty amazing. Let's talk about bill amounts. You might be wondering, how does the average annual bill in Chelan County compare? Well, we have the fifth lowest average bill of any US utility. The other four utilities whose bills are lower are in places like California and a little bit further south, and they actually have higher rates. They have rates of like 8, 10, 12, and another 10 cents per kilowatt hour. So, really, what you can see is that our bills actually in Washington state are the lowest on average of any utility. We even beat Douglas County. I know, it's kind of crazy. They have lower rates, but they use more energy. Okay? So that brings up this other part. Okay, we've got super low rates, we have pretty low bills, lowest in the state. Let's talk about how much energy we use, that other big factor. Okay, this is where things get a little bit wiggly, okay? We use the third highest amount of electricity in our homes out of any other utility, okay? You see, the county actually uses the most electricity in their homes on average, and that's why their bills are higher than in Chelan County, even though their rates are a hair lower. Okay, Kootenai, that's up by Canada. Let's give them a little bit of a break. So this is really the biggest lever that we have. Our rates are throttled way down. We pay less than it costs to actually generate and deliver the power that we have. Okay, our rates are subsidized. So when Chelan PUD goes out and we sell energy, we bring that money back and we buy our rates down super low. So you don't even pay how much it costs to actually create and deliver the energy. But we could conceivably use a little bit less. And I was actually curious about this. These are all the different utilities, the average amount of energy that the homes use by utility, and then the price. And you can see that the cheaper the electricity, generally the more electricity is used. Now, part of this could be that people, if their electricity is super expensive, maybe they're using gas heating and things like that. I don't know what the full story is here, but there's definitely a trend, okay? If you have cheap rates like we do, we just be using our energy, okay? And then when you start getting down like Grant, Benton, Avista, which serves Spokane, and our friends down in the city of Ellensburg, their rates are slightly higher, but they use almost like half as much energy as we do. So these are similar climates, but they use less electricity. All right, let's go back to this bill amount. So our electric rates are low. The amount of energy, that electricity, that's kind of our lever. The median home in Chelan County uses $650 worth of electricity a year. And you might be saying, yeah, but I'm paying like $300 for the last 2 months on my energy bill. Yes, that's because about 43% on average of your entire annual bill is for heating. And I don't know about you, but I imagine around New Year's when it was like minus 20 degrees, they probably used a fair amount of heat. And that's why your bills are going up in winter. Now, this one, I don't want you to get scared here, but this red line is the median. Half of all of our homes use less than $650 a year in electricity. half of our homes use more than $650 of energy a year. Okay. And this third quartile nonsense, that's data speak for 75% use less and 25% use more. So if you know how much you spend on your electricity bills per year, you can figure out where you are here. If you're spending more than like $800 or $900, you're in some of the top users in Chelan County, and we totally are here to help you lower your electricity use so that you can bring your bill down closer to that median and even below. And you might be thinking, does it matter? Is this realistic? Well, if we were on average to change our electricity use from our current, which is about $650 a year, and we were to be more like our friends up in Okanagan, we'd be spending about $540. And if we were like the lovely folks down in the city of Ellensburg, we would be spending about $300 a year only. A year. That's like $25 a month on our electricity because they just use so much less electricity. So it is possible to significantly reduce your bills, as folks in these other similar climates can show us. So if you want to lower your bills, the big lever is using less electricity, and we can help. Thank you for joining my Data Minute. We're going to go back now, and we're going to go chat with Frank. Hey, Frank. I had to
Hi.
do it. I was so curious about
I gotta
where our
I gotta
rates fit in to
hold on.
everything.
That was pretty awesome.
Thank you. And if you don't believe me, please go to the Energy Information Administration, EIA's website. It's a government organization, and all of this stuff is public. You can go and you can look at how much Kootenai cooperative power costs and how much people up there use if you are so inclined on your own.
Yeah, that
Silent.
was yeah, pretty amazing numbers. I mean, as you can see, that with Ellensburg being so close, their bills being a little different than what the average is here. So yeah, that's good info.
Yeah, for sure. I know. And it's hard, right? People are like, "Well, I'm not the average home." Yes, I totally hear you. Like some homes, like my parents' house was built in 1929 over on the Wenatchee side, and they couldn't actually keep it, I believe, above like 66 degrees when that cold snap happened because it's just so leaky. And that's one of the things on their list, right? You got to seal it up
Right,
and make sure that you're keeping the heat inside your home. You're paying for it, so you might as well enjoy it.
right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many variables when it comes to energy usage. Like you said, your parents' home is an older home. I mean, you got old homes, new homes, homes that were built in the 50s, 40s. I mean, different windows, insulation, square footage. I mean, it's a lot. It's so many different variables. But of course, we have our experts here at our conservation department. Your
Woohoo!
your coworkers are pretty awesome. Shout out to Sergio, Griselda, and the rest of the team. Dr. Jim, he's pretty knowledgeable. He's he's very interesting to talk to, and because he knows a lot about the solar, and if you're into electric cars and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we have our experts, so including yourself, of course.
Yeah. Well, actually, we have some questions for you today. And if you are watching and you have questions for Frank about your bills, please drop them into the chat. So, one of the ones that your team has been getting a ton is, my bill increased a lot. Have you increased my rates? What do you tell folks?
No, no, no. Definitely not a rate increase. We did have a rate increase last year. This was June 1st of last year, and it was only an increase to the basic charge. So it went from 945 to 1120. That was the increase, and like I said, that was June 1st of last year. If customers are seeing higher bills, it is because of the uh, cold weather, especially those days where the temperatures were in the single digits. I do remember I can't remember how many days we had single digits. I don't know if you know, if you have any info on that, Lacy, but
No, I
no.
don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know those single digit, days, that actually is probably one of the main factors. The bills are showing up now, the way they are. It's very substantial increase, from the prior month, and because, they were, I think it's the last couple of years where we didn't have temperatures this cold. Uh, we have, a lot of customers haven't seen them this high, especially for, um, you know people that bought new homes within that time frame, uh, renters moving in, students, getting their first apartment, uh, things like that. And so, uh, you know, the main thing is, to consider is, this month's in the winter, it will be high. But if you see your bill, and if it looks different, if it looks much higher, um, that is one of the explanations, the cold snap that we had. And we are also billing, 30 days behind. So basically, if we generate your bill today, which is, where are we? Oh, you know
What?
where we are? Groundhog Day.
Oh, is it?
I think so. It's Groundhog Day, and I think we need. One of my coworkers said that he saw his shadow.
Okay, so warmer days are coming. Is that what that means?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. So we've got a
We're,
groundhog shadow.
yeah. So so you got to watch out for that, because if we're getting more winter, then are we really getting more? Is it gonna hang out way longer? We got to believe this. What is his name or her name? This It's got a long name. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, that cold snap is definitely is what made this bill so high. And, we are here, for customers, and we definitely want to, if they see something on their bill that doesn't look right, just, reach out to us, give us a call. We're happy to help. We have a very knowledgeable staff, friendly, and I guess the main thing is to, just pay attention to the bill. It has different sections where, it'll have your meter number, the dates of service, whether it was a 30-day period, 29, depending. And then also on there is a box, which is very, very important in this time of the year, that it says if it's an estimate or not. Uh, and that is very important because, right now, since we had that storm on what day was that? Um, the 6th? No, I could be off. But whenever we got those 500 inches of snow, remember when that was?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I was
Lacy,
actually out of
are
the
you there?
area for most of December. Full disclosure. So, oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so there was a big dump of snow, and what happened?
Can you hear me, Lacy?
Yes, I can totally hear you. Can you hear me okay? Testing? Frank, we got you.
I think she might be somewhere. Hopefully, we're still going live.
I think
Anyways,
so.
so yeah, we had that snowstorm, and, what that did was, it created a myth for, reading our meters, which reading the meters is key to getting a correct bill. And so the idea here is to, um, with the storm, we're still, dealing with trying to access those meters. And what we ask from our customers is, if they can and are willing to do it, and it's safe, of course, be safe out there on the ice, but have some access, clear the access to the meters so we can get to them. So our meter readers can actually, access that meter and get that read, which is so important to creating that bill. And so that is the goal, to have accurate meter reading and, get those bills in a timely manner.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, okay, we know that heating is a big part of our bills. What do you recommend for customers that just, they don't want to see a several $100 bill, come February or March? Are there different ways that they can pay to maybe smooth that out throughout the whole year? Hmm. Frank, what's going on? You can't hear
Lacy,
me
can you hear me?
again. Yeah, we can hear you. You're all good. Hey, folks, if you can hear Frank, can you just let me know in the chat with a thumbs up? I can hear him just fine. Can you guys hear me okay? Frank? This is just getting awkward. I feel like I'm in a room alone, but everyone's watching. Let's see here. We hear Frank. Yeah? Do you hear me? Let's see. Oh boy.
Lacy.
This is how it goes. Can you hear Lacy? Let's see. Frank, are you there? We've lost your video. Okay, thanks, Paula. I really appreciate you guys. We're having a little bit of technical
Lacy.
difficulty on Frank's end. Frank, we can hear you. Oh,
Testing
Frank,
one,
come
two, three.
back. I agree with you. Thank you, Rachel. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move on. Frank, if you want to reconnect, that is A-okay. I'm not sure what's happened with your video, but we will be here for you. We did have a couple other questions. I'm going to go ahead and show them. This one is perhaps one of the more controversial questions. This was related to bills being a bit higher. Peggy said, well, someone has to pay for the big buildings being built. I'm just going to go ahead and claim this. I will take this question on. So I think she might be referring to the new service center. And this backstory behind the service center is that I'm not going to call our 8 existing buildings jalopies, but they're a little bit haggard in places
I can
and a
hear.
little bit unsafe. Maybe
I
not
can hear.
our main
Okay.
building, but the other
And
sections
I'm
and
trying
things
to
like
connect
that.
on
Oh,
YouTube.
we're going to remove Frank because he's trying to figure this out. And so a few years ago, people looked at what should we do? Should we overhaul all of these buildings, right? All 8 of them, bring them up to health and safety standards. And instead of having a few hundred staff, we now have about 800 employees at the PUD since these buildings were built. So what do? We looked at 5 different options, priced them all out, and evidently taking our jalopies and upgrading them costs a lot more than just getting a new rig and centralizing everything. And apparently, centralizing our fleet in particular saves about $750,000 each year just in shifting things around and the transportation costs associated with it. So, Peggy, I wish this were just a big splurge, but really, it's time that Mama just got a new car. So, the rates, as I mentioned, they are 3.2 cents per kilowatt hour. They are the second lowest in the entire country. Our bills are the 5th lowest in the country. And the reason why is because the PUD takes money from selling energy elsewhere and we bring it back and we subsidize our rates. So the big building being built is actually a money saving option in the long run. Thanks for your question. All right. This one I also love. This one is a common question that Frank and his team gets, and people are trying to troubleshoot what's going on in winter. The question is, oh, let's see if Frank is working. Frank,
I
are you
can hear
here,
you.
bud?
I'm back.
You're back. Let me
Hey,
see if I can add you to the stream here. Dun dun dun. Frank!
hi.
I see and hear you.
So I could hear myself, but I couldn't hear you. So I just kept on rambling. I don't know how much of that we got.
I got 0. I don't know if other people got any, but I filled in some time talking about our service center and the money that it actually will save. But
But
I have a new question. Oh, did you want to add
Frank
something
the
to that?
Tank is back.
Frank the Tank is back. I love it. All right. Here's a question for you. I
All
have
right.
a high bill. Can you come out and check my meter for me, Frank? Maybe it's something wrong with my meter.
You betcha. If you want
Really?
your meter checked, we can check it. Yeah. What we normally look at is we look at the usage. So the main thing to consider is the usage with prior years. Obviously, the the last couple of years might not match to what the latest bill would have been. So what I do and what we do is we look at 3 years ago. If that meter, if that usage is closer to what it is now, that tells us that it falls in line with the usage. If it's something extraordinarily high, then at that point we definitely would want to check the meter. But for the most part, we can tell if it's just a high bill from this from this cold snap that we had.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you can kind of tell what's going on once
Oh
you
yeah,
read
yeah.
read the
So
meter.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Here's another one that you've often gotten. So I have an empty home. I'm not using it, and yet my bills are still high. What's going on there?
Um, if bills are high with an empty home, is there squatters? Possibly. You don't want squatters, but no. I mean, for the most part, if it's people that leave in the winter, snowbirds, when they travel down to Arizona, or just someone that has possibly a rental that's empty, you got to consider the the usage of energy, or the creation of energy, um, when people are there. You're cooking, you're showering, you have more bodies in the house that are doing things, and so that creates energy. And so that's one of the things people don't realize, but that actually helps save money. And so by even having the house empty, it doesn't mean that the heater is not working like it should, right? Because the heater basically the colder it is, it needs to kick in much more often, right? So it'll still, to heat up the house, it'll still have to come on every however many minutes, if the temperature is at, let's say, 10-12 degrees versus being 25 to 30 degrees. So again, different variables, but one of the main things is that that even though you have your thermostat set at a lower temperature, it doesn't mean that that furnace is not working a lot harder to keep that temperature at that level. So
Yeah, we have a comment here from Fitz. He's saying water heaters, forgotten heaters, bad HVAC pumps are a few examples.
that's right.
Yeah. So as we saw in sort of the breakdown, heating is a big energy draw for our homes. Of course, it's about 43% in Chelan County on average. 53% is base loads, which are totally these water heaters and other appliances, your lighting, all of that sort of stuff that's always running. And people don't think about these phantom loads that can be drawing energy, whether you're watching TV or not, or whether your phone is 100% charged or not. Those devices can still be drawing power, which use energy. And same with,
Right.
yeah, the water heater one. This is one of the cool things about a hybrid water heater, is that you can, actually just turn it off from your phone when you leave, and then you can turn it back on, so you don't have to suffer through cold water at the beginning. So yeah, if you are outside of the area, you can manage these with smart Wi-Fi connected devices,
That's right.
so that they turn off, which is cool. All right, that's great.
Yeah. In fact, I have a Nest at home. We got it about 2 years ago, and this Nest, it it kind of learns your schedules. I mean, you can do a manual schedule, set 67 throughout the night, and then come on at 69 in the morning for a couple of hours. You can customize it, and then it also learns when if you turn it on to kind of track where your phone is, it'll if you leave the home, it'll also maybe lower the temperature. So it kind of learns, and obviously you guys are experts on this subject too. So I'm just a rookie with a smart thermostat
You're
at home.
you're a user. You're a
I'm a
user.
user. Yeah,
You're a case study.
yeah, yes, yeah,
That's great. So you love it. I mean,
yeah.
the thing with all of the smart products is that they're trying to be, it's one less thing to think about. I don't know about you, but I don't always think about resetting my water heater or, different things like that. So, but all of these little changes add up.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of addressed this. But one person had a question of my temperature is set for 60 degrees and yet my bill is still super high. So again, like the heating is probably reduced from if you had a balmy 70 degrees in your home. But what else is going on in this house in winter specifically that would cause their bill to be a little bit higher?
I think mainly is the like we said it before, the main thing is the average temperature for that billing cycle. Um, compared to previous years, that'll do it. If this like we had this cold snap, those average temperatures for the month of end of December, January, it was much colder than those two previous years. So obviously that'll increase that bill, and so it's uh, yeah. I mean the setting up the thermostat at 60 versus 69, um, it should save you some energy, but still, if it's much colder than previous years, it will increase your bill. So
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. This year was colder than the last 2 years, absolutely. But you may have forgotten that the last 2 years have been extraordinarily warm in winter. So the last 2 years were the anomaly, not this year. This is sort of a normal winter, what we used to have 4 years and further back. We don't remember it, but this is kind of a bit of a normal winter compared with the last 2 years, which were a bit odd. So our bills are higher this year than last year, but this year is more like a typical year, a typical winter. So if you're considering, maybe things weren't as comfortable or like my parents' house wasn't able to stay as warm as they were hoping, making the investment to your home so that there's less heat loss or things are more comfortable. This is a year that you can kind of model for the future as what a typical winter should look like, more or less. Cool. Okay. So one last question about this, and then I wanted to deep dive into bill assistance and payment plans and things like that. So the last question that we have is this person has a new home, which shouldn't use that much energy. What's going on? Why is why are their bills a bit higher than they expected?
it's a newer home.
Newer home.
Um, Again, it's if it's a newer home, how new is it is the question, because uh, if if we don't have enough history on this new meter, it's hard to tell what kind of energy usage this home would have had when this bill was similar to a regular winter bill 4 years ago. So uh, if there's no history on this meter, it's hard to tell. But the main thing is how big is the home. If you're talking 1,500 square foot home versus 25, 3,000, 4,000 square foot home. Uh, then again, once you're getting over the 2,000, to 4,000 square foot homes, you will have a pretty size, pretty large bill. So, uh, there's different things. And another thing that we've seen, or I've seen, is that when the contractors or whoever installs their HVAC system, they kind of teach their customers to use emergency heat or when not to use it. I don't have a heat pump at home, which I should get, by the way.
You should get.
I should get. Uh, but talking to Griselda, I know she said that when they have the emergency heat running, it basically the bills will be pretty high. So, and this is typical sometimes for new homes. So that's one thing to consider. If you have a heat pump, what are the settings? Make sure you know what you are doing.
Mhm.
And if not, ask, give us a call, right? I mean, do you
Yeah.
want to, or your contractor, whoever installed the product?
Yeah, I actually got this question yesterday at the grocery store. Hi, Gary, if you're listening. Gary was curious about e-heat. E-heat on a heat pump means emergency heat. And what it does is it takes your snazzy heat pump that you paid for and it turns it into a basic electric resistance furnace like this. And he said, "Well, when should I do it?" And I said, "Well, it depends how dumb your thermostat is, because pretty much all modern thermostats, whether they're a smart thermostat or they're just a basic programmable thermostat, when you connect that with your heat pump, it controls your heat pump and the outside compressor based on actual conditions and your set points. So if it's really, really cold outside and your compressor is not going to get a lot of efficiency from running the heat pump and it needs more resistance backup in your air handling unit inside, your thermostat is going to say, hey, run it a little bit more like an electric resistance heater and less like a heat pump because it's so darn cold out there, we can't pull that much energy from outside, and it will run that way. So your thermostat and your control panel is actually supposed to, it's designed to control your heat pump to run in the optimal way. If you go and you just switch the whole thing over to e-heat, like Frank's saying, your electric bills are going to go up because you're overriding the control panel of your heat pump and just turning it into a very inefficient resistance heater. So don't do that. Just let your thermostat do its job, which is controlling when the compressor goes on and off and all those fun things that you don't have to worry about. And you'll save on your energy bill. That's a great point. Sorry, I'll stop going on a tangent about e-heat. Back to you, Frank.
Well, that's that's pretty awesome info. See, I knew you would have an answer for us. So thank you.
All right. Frank, I have some questions for you on, whether we have affordable bills or not and how it compares to the rest of the country, schmuntry. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, we have bills we got to pay. And if people are struggling and making it happen right now, what do you sell them?
If they're struggling, the main thing to consider is uh, if you're struggling, you have pending bills, right? And the the thing to look at is just grab that bill, that we're sending you, whether it's a paper in the mail, grab it, look at it, see how far behind you are. We might even send you some kind of notice, and look at those. That's the main thing, because ultimately what we want you to do is reach out to us. If you have a past due amount, um, please get a hold of us. Our intention is not to disconnect any service. That is definitely not our intention. We want to work with our customers and keep people warm, especially this time of the year. But um, make sure that you're looking at those bills, because if you haven't paid in 6-7 months or over a year, obviously it's uh, and we've been trying to reach you. Then we're trying our best to keep things afloat, right? So obviously, if you need to pay a bill, um, let us know. If you need the help, we have resources. We have community action that we work with. They're great to help customers, in a tough situation. So you can reach out to them.
Yeah, the
They
community
also
action has so they offer, bill assistance, but they also offer emergency heat repair. So if your heating goes out in winter, they can help with things like that, like just getting it back in online. So they're a good resource.
That's right. That's right. So that's the thing. We want our customers that know that have a balance with us, a high balance, or that know that are past due. Please reach out to us. That's the main thing. We just want to talk to you and see what we can do to help you out. Um, and that's the main thing. Just give us a call.
Okay, cool. I like that. Give us a call. We're there to help. Community Action has some funds in terms of, it's called LIHEAP, and other, bill assistance. Barring all of that, we also have the Helping Hand program, which is it runs off of donations from customers at the PUD, which is really amazing. So that's one way. If you are feeling super grateful and you want to give back, you can donate to Helping Hand, and it will go directly to customers in need in Chelan County to help them with these winter bills. So that's a great thing to
Yeah,
know
I
about
see.
as well.
And just to add to this, when when we have a customers that that are up for disconnection, the last thing we want to do is send our service department out there, because the way the process works is this way. Um, if a customer hasn't paid and they're up for disconnection, uh, we leave a if we can't, if we call them, try to call them, leave voicemails, send emails, and we're not getting a response, then what we do is we send out our service department and they leave a door hanger, right? So it's a door hanger, and this door hanger, this is very crucial right here, because door hangers are $35 a piece, right? So you're adding $35 fee to your account, and then if we don't hear from you at that point, we're going to go back. Our service department will go back and disconnect the service. And this is the unfortunate part. We don't want to get to this point. And if we do disconnect the service, it's another $35 fee, right? And then usually by the time we disconnect the service, that kind of gets the attention of the customers, right? If we don't have power, I mean, obviously something's going on. That's when we get the call, right? And by the time we get that call, we're going to add another $35 fee to go back and connect your service. So by the time we're done, this adds $105 to your bill. And this is definitely something we can avoid by just calling us. Just give us a call, because that is key. Just being in contact with us, and then figuring out what we can do for you. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. This was something that I thought was really interesting when I learned more about the process of how your team handles late bills and things like that. Your MO, your entire goal at that point is just to try to help folks get their
That's right.
bills paid. It's not to shake them down or anything like that. It's to connect them with the resources to help them lower their bills. And you're absolutely right. If you kind of just keep tucking it under the rug, eventually it kind of adds up. So
That's right.
take advantage of the resources available before it becomes an even bigger issue. Yeah,
That's
for
right.
sure. That makes sense. All right, you know what, Frank? I'm going to do a last call on the chat and see if anyone has other questions for you. Thank you so much for explaining how, these common questions of winter bills that happens every year where we get surprised. I guess one thing that customers should know about is the equal payment plan. So if you don't want to get surprised every winter and instead you want to equalize your monthly payments so that you pay 12 kind of equal installments, is that an option for everyone?
Yes, of course. So the equal payment, the way it works, you have to be living in a house or apartment or wherever you are, for at least a full year in order to qualify for the equal payment program. The equal payment program, the way it works, it looks at the usage for those full months, and then it'll average out, give you an amount. So basically, if you, let's say you, for those full months, you averaged $50, so that would be the $50 that you would be paying forward, right? And so in a year after we activate the equal payment, it's not from January to January. So let's say uh, you as a customer called today, the 2nd of February. Uh, so the equal payment next year in 2023 will reevaluate and look at the 12 months from now until then, and reassess the numbers if it needs to. So if that 50, if you use more energy than the last 12 months, then that 50 could become 55 or 60. And that's how the equal payment program works. So it's a great tool. You just got to make sure, the one thing also with equal payment, you got to make sure that you're paying the bill on time. This is crucial, and I can't emphasize it enough, because what happens is if you miss a couple of payments, then it'll take you off the equal payment, and then it'll build a full balance on the account. And we don't, obviously we don't want to do that. And it keeps it clean, if you can make the payment. Um, Even better if you can set up auto pay, right? So it just takes it out of your checking account, out of your, using your debit card, checking account, whatever you want to use as a payment method. And that's the ideal way to do it. So yeah, definitely a great tool that we have. So there it is.
That's a great combo. So you do the equal pay, and then you set up the auto payment so that the same amount every month is coming out automatically from your checking account. Done.
That's correct. Even
Cool.
a credit card, if you want to use a Visa, MasterCard, we don't do American Express, but Visa or MasterCard, if you want to earn miles, points, whatever you want to earn, so you can go on that trip to, get away to the warm weathers right now in this time. So there you go. Paying your bills could give you cash back.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's great. All right. Well, Frank, I don't see any other questions in the comments. I don't know if there's anything else you want to share for posterity. Thank you so much for joining us. This is your big moment. So let me know if there's something else you'd like to share with customers.
I actually do.
Okay.
When we lost the communication, I'm not sure how much of it was heard. I'm thinking everything.
I think we lost you like solidly. So do the spiel. Tell me.
This snowstorm brought some challenges to our meter readers, right? So we have our meter readers that go out there and get a read every month so we can bill you correctly. And with so much snow, and now that it's frozen, it makes it hard, right, for our meter readers to get to that meter. And so what's going to happen is, because of this, that's the last 30 days, however long it's been since it snowed, we've actually, our system can estimate the reads. So in the next month, when you get the bills for the next month, you're going to see what we call a true up bill, where we'll actually get a read, and then it'll rebill it from the last real read, which would have been before the storm. And so that's key. If you can, I know if you can do it safely, please go out there and clear the access to the meter, because that's very crucial to get that get that read, which in turn generates the bill, and it gets a correct bill sent out to you.
Okay, cool. And this is something that we only have to hobble along with estimates for a little while longer until we get AMI, so the smart meters that are going out.
Right.
And then we don't have to do that. You don't get estimates. You get real bills, like real ones, based off of what you really use.
That's right. That's a whole nother show, right?
Yes, AMI is a totally different show.
Right.
Yeah, but that's true. This is one big disadvantage with having the old school meters, that you actually have to like go trudge through the snow to try to read, which isn't happening in a snowstorm. Yeah.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, Frank, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. And if you guys need to sort out your bills, you're interested in equal payment plan, any of that stuff, give Frank and his team a call. They are there, ready to help you out and solve your billing issues.
That's right. We're here to help. And if something changes in your, if you have a different phone number, email, anything like that, give us a call, because we want to have the right way to reach you. That's key information that we need, not only for being able to get you the billing to you, but also for emergencies. We want to have those numbers or emails, actually mainly numbers, so we can, if there is an emergency, we can make a quick call to you. So that's the main thing. And then again, just thanking our customers that contribute to our helping hand. Without them, it's they're the ones helping out their neighbors. So That this comes from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if you can see it over here somewhere, but thank you to all those customers that contribute to this Helping Hand program. It's in right there in your bill. If you want to contribute $1, whatever it is, if you can, you're helping a family that could, be struggling. Again, this is we can set it up automatic. Be a recurring $1, $2, $5, $10, or 10,000 if you want to give 10,000. But it's a great program. And again, I just want to thank all those customers that have contributed to this fund over the years.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thanks, Lacy.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. We'll see you next time. When actually in 2 weeks. So you snuck in here. I actually had episode 1 scheduled for 2 weeks, but this is really important. So we wanted to chat about high bills, but on the 16th, so in 2 weeks, 2 days after Valentine's Day, we have a real life Canadian energy efficiency expert coming in, Dave Shipley. He grew up in Saskatoon, so he can tell you how to handle winter, folks, and how to lower your bills. He also works in energy efficiency forecasting, so he is helping model how in the world Canada is going to transition to a low carbon energy future, including the electrification of everything, cars and heating and all of that stuff. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation with a real life Canuck.
Right.
I'll see you there.
Can't wait to see it.
All right, cool. Thank you again, Frank. Bye.
Thanks, Lacy. Thanks for having me.
Always. Oh, we forgot our awesome song, guys.